Imagine a world where Rome's golden eagle and Han China's dragon didn't just watch each other across the vast expanse of Eurasia, but marched together as allies. Two empires separated by thousands of miles, language barriers, and centuries of cultural evolution, joining forces not out of conquest but strategy. Rome, with its iron discipline, vast roads, and legions capable of crushing rebellion, and Han China, with its advanced metallurgy, crossbows, and agricultural innovations. Combined, they would create a superpower unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. Picture legions crossing the Eurasian steppes alongside Han cavalry, fortified cities bristling with Roman siege towers and Chinese crossbowmen, and trade networks stretching from the Mediterranean to the Yellow Sea, richer and more secure than ever before. What would happen if these two civilizations, often considered the pinnacles of human achievement in their time, pooled their knowledge, armies, and resources? Could they prevent the rise of nomadic threats? Could they dominate trade routes that once spanned continents? And most importantly, how would such an alliance reshape the story of humanity itself? By the end of this video, you'll see how one diplomatic choice could rewrite the history of Eurasia. From technological revolutions and military conquests to cultural transformations that might still echo in our world today. Stay with me, because the world you think you know is about to be completely reimagined. To understand this alternate timeline, we must identify the exact moment where history could plausibly diverge. The year is roughly 178 CE. The Roman Empire is recovering from the Marcomannic Wars, stretched thin by decades of frontier battles and internal political tension. At the same time, Han China under Emperor Ling faces mounting pressure from the Xiongnu and other northern tribes. Both empires face a familiar yet daunting problem: external threats they cannot fully suppress alone. A merchant caravan traveling the Silk Road becomes the unlikely catalyst for change. He carries not only silk, spices, and jade, but intelligence about distant lands. Reports reach both emperors. Rome learns of China's bureaucratic efficiency and military innovations, while Han China hears of Rome's disciplined legions, siegecraft, and vast infrastructure. The implications are staggering. If these two empires coordinated, they could secure borders, dominate trade, and control Eurasia in a way no other state could. Rome brings a wealth of military expertise, well-drilled legions, advanced siege equipment, naval logistics, and experience fighting diverse enemies across vast terrain. Han China contributes innovations Rome has never faced in practice: crossbows capable of piercing armor at long range, large-scale fortifications, and an advanced bureaucracy managing massive populations. Together, these capabilities create an almost unstoppable force. Historically, indirect contact existed between Rome and Han China through intermediaries along the Silk Road, but nothing formal developed. In this timeline, a single diplomatic envoy convinces both sides that the benefits of coordination outweigh the risks. The world is about to witness a union of power, ambition, and innovation unlike any the ancient world has ever seen. The question arises: once these two empires begin to coordinate, what new strategies, technologies, and global ambitions could emerge? Once the initial contact is made, the early years of the alliance become a careful dance of diplomacy, trust building, and cultural exchange. Envoys travel from Rome to Luoyang carrying gifts designed to impress: emeralds, glassware, olive oil, and wine. The Han court responds in kind, sending silk, bronze mirrors, lacquered vessels, and even paper, a revolutionary technology at the time. Trade, previously limited and perilous, surges along the Silk Road. Caravan routes are fortified and patrolled jointly by Roman and Han troops. Cities along the way, Palmyra, Samarkand, Kashgar, transform into bustling hubs of commerce, where Roman coinage circulates alongside Han coins, and local artisans combine techniques from both civilizations. This period is not without friction. Roman governors distrust the Han bureaucrats' meticulous record-keeping and centralized authority, while Han generals question the discipline of Roman soldiers outside structured campaigns. Yet both emperors recognize the greater prize: an empire that spans Eurasia, with secure borders and unparalleled trade networks. Knowledge spreads as rapidly as goods. Roman architects study Han bridges, canals, and fortifications. Han engineers observe Roman aqueducts, roads, and military logistics. Scholars in Luoyang debate the principles of Roman law and governance, while Roman philosophers write about Confucian ethics, seeking ways to understand the social fabric of a distant land. Cultural exchange extends to military tactics and diplomacy. Roman envoys learn to adapt Chinese strategy manuals for campaign planning, while Han generals adopt Roman logistical planning to supply troops over long distances. Even art and fashion intermingle. Roman sculptures show influences from Chinese motifs, and silk robes begin appearing in Mediterranean markets. The ripple effects extend far beyond politics and trade. Tribes and smaller kingdoms that once considered the distance between Rome and China a buffer begin to reconsider their ambitions. The alliance sends a clear message. The ancient world's most formidable powers are no longer isolated. But this is just the beginning. While diplomacy sets the stage, the true measure of this alliance lies in its ability to project power and enforce its interests across Eurasia. The combined military might of Rome and Han China quickly becomes apparent. Han cavalry, fast and disciplined, pairs with Roman heavy infantry in maneuvers previously unimaginable. Nomadic tribes such as the Xiongnu and Scythians, who once roamed freely across the steppes, face coordinated campaigns from two empires working in concert. Joint military operations require adaptation. Roman commanders learn to deploy units alongside fast-moving Han cavalry, adjusting traditional formations. Han generals integrate siege techniques inspired by Roman experience in taking fortified cities. Supply chains are re-engineered. Roads once meant for Roman legions now facilitate the movement of Chinese troops and resources across vast distances. The impact on regional conflicts is dramatic. The northern frontiers of China stabilize as Roman military advisors help design fortified garrisons. Rome's European borders, previously under constant pressure from Germanic tribes, become nearly impregnable with Han-style engineering adaptations and shared intelligence. New weapons and techniques spread rapidly. Roman legions adopt crossbows for ranged warfare, increasing their effectiveness against fortified positions. Han forces experiment with Roman siege towers, adapting them for local conditions. The two empires essentially leapfrog centuries of military evolution in a single decade, creating a standard of warfare that is unmatched in human history. By the end of the first decade of cooperation, the geopolitical map of Eurasia is transformed. Territories once contested or unstable now fall firmly under the influence of the alliance. Neighboring powers must reconsider their ambitions, and the idea of small, independent kingdoms controlling key trade routes becomes increasingly untenable. Yet challenges remain. Cultural differences, logistical hurdles, and internal power struggles threaten the alliance. Can these two empires, separated by language, governance, and geography, maintain unity over the long term? And how far could their combined reach extend before internal tension threatens to undo decades of progress? With military security established, Rome and Han China focus on consolidating economic and cultural influence. The Silk Road, once a treacherous network of sandstorms, bandits, and unpredictable politics, becomes a highway of prosperity. Jointly administered trade hubs appear along Central Asia, connecting Mediterranean markets with China's bustling eastern cities. Silk, spices, glassware, and bronze circulate in unprecedented quantities, while local economies flourish under the protection and investment of two of history's greatest empires. Agriculture and technology also experience a renaissance. Roman crop rotation techniques and aqueduct systems merge with Han irrigation and terrace farming, creating yields far beyond what either civilization achieved independently. Food security allows populations to grow, cities to expand, and labor to specialize, fueling innovation. Cultural exchange accelerates as well. Roman sculptures begin to incorporate Chinese motifs, while Chinese art reflects Roman realism. Philosophical and scientific ideas spread. Confucian ethics influence Roman legal debates, and Roman engineering principles inspire Chinese city planning. Languages intertwine. Latin phrases enter Chinese official texts, and classical Chinese words appear in Roman manuscripts. Education flourishes. Scholars and scientists are exchanged between empires, spreading ideas that were once confined to regional schools. Astronomy, medicine, and metallurgy advance rapidly. Gunpowder, centuries away in real history, begins appearing in rudimentary experiments as Han Chinese engineers collaborate with Roman metallurgists. Military technology, urban planning, and even shipbuilding benefit from this unprecedented cross-pollination of ideas. This prosperity is not without tension. Some local elites resist cultural blending, fearing loss of identity or political influence. Border regions, though secure militarily, face new challenges. Integrating populations with different languages, laws, and traditions requires careful governance. Yet the benefits are undeniable. A truly Eurasian economy begins to take shape, and the alliance sets the stage for a level of globalization ancient societies could never have imagined. The alliance's influence extends far beyond their immediate borders. Tribes and smaller kingdoms, once free agents along Eurasian trade routes, are forced to submit diplomatically or militarily. Persia, the Parthian Empire, and Central Asian Khanates are pushed to negotiate terms favorable to the alliance, creating a buffer zone of semi-autonomous states loyal to Rome and Han China. Naval power also grows. Roman expertise in shipbuilding and navigation merges with Chinese advances in hull design and sail technology. The Mediterranean, the Indian Ocean, and even parts of Southeast Asia become arenas for controlled trade and influence, connecting civilizations that, in our history, would remain largely isolated. Wars, though less frequent, become more strategic. Nomadic threats are countered before they can destabilize regions, thanks to joint intelligence networks and coordinated military campaigns. Economically, new markets emerge. Roman roads meet Chinese canals, creating a network that spans thousands of miles. Trade in rare resources, jade, spices, glass, and even precious metals, thrives under the protection of these twin powers. Culturally, a shared Eurasian elite emerges. Philosophers, engineers, and artists travel freely, sharing knowledge that would take centuries to reach the rest of the world in our timeline. Confucian Roman administrative hybrids develop, blending bureaucratic efficiency with legal precision. Festivals, art styles, and religious practices mix, creating a shared identity that is partly Roman, partly Han, and entirely new. But such dominance invites envy. Smaller states chafe under control, and rival empires, like a strengthened Parthia or India's regional kingdoms, begin testing the limits of this alliance. The question emerges: can two empires, separated by distance, maintain cohesion while projecting power globally? Or will internal politics and cultural tensions eventually undermine the most ambitious alliance in human history? Looking centuries ahead, the Roman-Han alliance would fundamentally rewrite the story of civilization. The combined technological, agricultural, and military knowledge would accelerate human development by centuries. Cities along the Silk Road could evolve into megacities, rivaling modern capitals, where Roman-style forums sit alongside Chinese pagodas, and markets buzz with merchants trading spices, silk, glassware, and bronze in a shared lingua franca. Scientific discoveries arrive centuries earlier. Experiments in chemistry, metallurgy, and astronomy accelerate under cross-continental collaboration. Simple innovations like water-powered mills and advanced irrigation techniques spread rapidly, increasing food production and allowing populations to grow far beyond what either civilization could achieve alone. Proto-industrial technologies emerge, such as early mechanical tools and rudimentary gunpowder experiments, setting the stage for a revolution that our timeline would not see for hundreds of years. Politically, a shared Eurasian superstate could prevent the fragmentation that historically destabilized empires. Strong central governance, combined with local autonomy through hybrid Roman-Han bureaucracies, maintains order across vast distances. Diplomacy becomes more sophisticated. Alliances with neighboring powers are structured and enforceable, and nomadic invasions or internal rebellions are managed before they can spiral into prolonged conflict. Economically, trade networks stabilize centuries earlier. Mediterranean, Central Asian, and East Asian markets are unified under the protective umbrella of Rome and Han China, allowing the free flow of goods, ideas, and capital. Regions once isolated by geography or war are now connected, resulting in unprecedented wealth, cultural integration, and urban growth. Entire generations experience a level of prosperity and opportunity that in our history would only appear in the modern era. Culturally, the world becomes a melting pot of ideas and traditions. Art, literature, philosophy, and science cross borders freely. Confucian ideals influence Roman law and administration, while Roman engineering and architectural techniques shape Chinese cityscapes. Education flourishes as scholars travel thousands of miles, sharing knowledge and creating a truly global intellectual community. This shared cultural evolution gives rise to a new hybrid civilization, one that would leave an indelible mark on human history. As we consider this alternate history, the lessons are profound. A single diplomatic decision, one alliance, or one envoy's successful journey could have reshaped the fate of millions, if not billions. The Roman Han alliance would not only stabilize Eurasia, but accelerate human progress in ways we can only imagine. Faster technological breakthroughs, urbanization on an unprecedented scale, and cultural synthesis that spans continents. Yet, it also reminds us of the fragility of historical outcomes. Small choices, missed opportunities, or even minor conflicts prevented this alliance from ever forming. By exploring what might have been, we gain insight into the enormous ripple effects of human cooperation and the contingent nature of history itself. The Roman Han alliance is more than a thought experiment. It is a mirror reflecting the possibilities of unity, innovation, and ambition. While the world we know was shaped by division and competition, this alternate path shows a vision of what humanity might achieve when civilizations combine forces rather than collide. If you found this exploration fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. More alternate history scenarios are coming, where we'll ask, what if history took a different path? And remember, history is not only about what happened, but also about the worlds that could have been.